If you think drag is something kids should not be exposed to, I want you to comment down below. Kids should see the ping pong thing more than drag. I asked you, people on my YouTube community tab, what movies featuring a trans woman should I talk about? Hello all you beautiful people, I'm Mizzz Sally Pryde, that's with 3 Z's and a Y, because why not? And in this video I got a great time for you today. I'm going to be talking about The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. This movie tied with the other film I reviewed, which is Boy Meets Girl. So the film starts off with this duet with a drag lip sync performance, and it isn't going well. The performers are being pelted and stuff like that with beer cans, and it really sets the mood of these characters are not in a good place right now. There's a flashback to Tig, who is one of the drag performers, and he's in this like huge chandelier costume, even gets stuck, and he tries to see his friend Trumpet, who ends up is dead. And he calls up his old friend Bernice, who has since transitioned. They go to the funeral. Both of them are drag queens, but Tig is a man who dresses like a woman, whereas Bernadette is a trans woman. She is a woman who also does drag, like me. Drag is a performance. It's an art form. So one of the fellow drag queens, Adam, buys a bus and calls it Priscilla, and they're going on a road trip through Australia so that they can get to a venue on the other side of Australia. If you haven't done so already, please give this video a like. I put a lot of work into this, and if you see the list of other options and you saw one on here that you're like, hey, I'd really like to see you talk about that, please let me know down in the comments. Or if there's another movie you want me to talk about, let me know down in the comments. It could be good or bad representation. As they're packing, you can hear the Village People song Go West, which is such a beautiful, fun song. Adam joins them, and there's no other way to put this. Adam is obnoxious, although he did have a good excuse, which was trying to tell his family that, hey, maybe going on a road trip will turn me straight, even though you're going on a road trip with a bunch of drag queens. I have to call this out here. I know this is gonna sound really bizarre, but I think this film does a better job than Boy Meets Girl when it comes to talking about trans representation, even though this film does not have a trans actress in the role, whereas the movie Boy Meets Girl does have a trans actress in the role, which I think is the right thing to do. However, this film actually has a better representation of what it's like to actually be trans. Adam is just awful to her. You cannot be dead-naming a trans woman. Dead-naming a trans woman is not a quirky thing to do. It is an act of aggression. For as much as you think, oh, I'm just being silly, no, you're actually being aggressive by doing that. Tig talks about how he used to be married to a woman and there's a kid involved. And they switch their rings and all that, which is a very funny story. And one of the things I really love about this film is how they do sort of flashback. And I really do like the silliness of Bernadette's story, where it's like on Christmas Day and she switched the gifts. However, I don't think I can talk about what Adam's flashback was here. If you haven't seen the movie, go watch. The other thing that's a little interesting with this film is they decide to go out in full drag, which I'm just going to point this out. There's a difference between being trans and drag. Drag is the exaggerated gender performance. Being trans is just who you are. So if Bernadette were to be expressing herself as her authentic female self, that's not the issue. The issue I sort of have is that they're all dressing up in drag in a community which they've heard is unsafe. This is not a safe thing to do. Well, it is good thematically and all that sort of stuff. It's in the real world, it would be very scary to do such a thing. The place to go to is this really shady bar. Bernadette was playing the drinking game where everyone dies just from taking shots after one another. Bernadette can really hold her own. However, Adam, because he's Adam, has to dead name her. He has to dead name her. I know he's drunk, but still. But yeah, what Adam did was really dangerous. Dead naming a trans person in public is extremely dangerous. It can put their lives at risk. It's not just a matter of, it's not their real name. No, it is dangerous. People have died because of that. So think before you say something. One of the most famous shots of the film is where they're looking out of their bus and there's a hate message written on there. I don't think I can show that or say it here on YouTube, but go watch the film and you'll be just like, it will be clear what I'm talking about. But yeah, they end up getting stuck in the middle of nowhere, but they decide, you know what, let's make the best of it. But of course, when their bus breaks down, they have no skills, but they end up getting some help to do so. Until they realize there are a bunch of drag queens in which they can't get help. And also, they're having breakfast, and Bernadette has like a bowl full of hormones. That is way too many. As someone who's on hormones, I know, like, hey, that's way too many. You cannot be taking that much hormones. It's like 1 or 2 pills at most. And they paint over the hateful message in purple. I mean lavender. And it's really sort of a beautiful symbolic thing of like they're making their own path. It's sort of nice. Adam's still dead naming Bernadette. He's sober and still doing it. Adam is an asshole. Bernadette tries to get help, and for a while it looks like she's successful, but then they find out she's accompanied by drag queens and they back out. And then they meet some indigenous people, and it's nice because one of the things people often don't realize is indigenous people are generally pretty supportive of trans and queer people. Homophobia and transphobia come from Western European society. This is not universal everywhere. But they end up helping and they meet this mechanic named Bob and his wife Cynthia. To be honest, I don't know what I should be able to say or not say about Cynthia. If you're Asian, please feel free to explain whether she's good or bad representation. I am not gonna broach that topic here. But it turns out Bob is very, very supportive of drag queens and even had seen Bernadette at one point in one of her shows back in the day. And Bob says, no, it'll be fine, you should perform here. The guys in the community don't really like it, but they really like Cynthia's act. If you think drag is something kids should not be exposed to, I want you to comment down below. Kids should see the ping pong thing more than drag. Just saying. And if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm trying to do there. There's Cynthia does this act with ping pong balls, and I can't really say what she does here on YouTube. Just again, watch the movie, cause well, I can't say I'll explain a lot of this on YouTube. I really do love the relationship that develops between Bob and Bernadette. They really are sweet together, and by the end of the film, Bob and Bernadette seem to have become a couple, which is really trans affirming. Like, you're taking a straight guy and he's entering a relationship with a trans woman. That is gender affirmation right there. And this film was out in the 90s. Seriously. No excuse for today. This film also covers more serious issues like Adam being beat up and Bob not wanting to stand up right away. Bob is an ally, and he's a good representation of what an ally looks like. And he does do the right thing in the end. And he does warn them what is or isn't the right community. And he knows this. Honestly, if you love Bob, let me know down in the comments. And if you make it this far, please subscribe. I do a whole bunch of drag-related stuff here. A whole bunch of trans and queer-related stuff as well. So please, I would really appreciate if you subscribe. Thank you so very much. There's this really moving part here where Tig gets to meet his son. And his son's perfectly okay with him being gay and a drag queen. Like, he understands all this. His mom's gay and everything. Like, it really is beautiful. And yes, queer people can have kids too. Get over it. And, like, there are even some really touching, like, really other profound moments, like how Bernadette's parents no longer speak to her after she got gender affirmation surgery. And it really is heartbreaking. But it does have a happy ending in the end. I love the ending where they're doing Mamma Mia and they're right back where they were in Recharge. Such a beautiful, beautiful moment, and I really loved it. So, this was my review of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Hope you like it. Hope you subscribe. Leave a respectful comment, all that sort of stuff. Thank you. Goodbye.